Just ahead, a judge turns down a bid for more time after Republican lawmakers plead to redraw congressional maps. We'll tell you what led to her decision next. And tensions run high at the state capitol. Why lawmakers are slow to come to an agreement.
Live, you're watching Fox 44 News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Kellyanne Bailey. Thank you so much for joining us for Fox 44 News at 5:30. My co-anchor Tavarius Haywood does have the night off. Well, we know it has been brutal these past couple days with heat, and then this afternoon we were dealing with some crazy storms out there. I want to bring in our chief meteorologist Ashley Ruiz now. Ashley, that was some really loud thunder and lightning right over our station.
Oh, I know. Very, very loud claps of thunder. A lot of lightning as well, Kellyanne. And these storms are moving from east to west, and they are on the strong side. We actually had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, generally east of I-55, but these storms continue to race from east to west, actually producing more lightning now versus an hour ago. And so these storms are no joke, and they will slow you down for your evening commute. And you can see St. Helena Parish and then into the Felicianas and into Amite County. We have some really heavy rain as well as a batch of strong thunderstorms stretching from Gonzales through Donaldsonville and just north of Letcher, and it continues to drift to the west. So you will need to keep that umbrella on hand at least through the evening, but this is not everywhere. These are more scattered in nature. Very intense thunderstorm moving over Wilson and then just to the southeast of St. Francisville. As for the timing of these storms, they should start to fade after sunset, and then tomorrow our weather pattern is going to be more dry, but our temperatures are really going to soar. Coming up in the full forecast, I'm going to talk everything heat and then track these thunderstorms. Kellyanne.
All right, looking forward to it, Ashley. Thank you. I want to switch gears now to some developing news today. At the state capitol, a federal judge denying lawmakers' request for more time for that congressional redistricting plan. Of course, the lawmakers are at the state capitol, but our Fox 44 News investigative reporter Ariel Sok joining us now in studio with details on what happened in court today. Ariel?
Kellyanne, the House Speaker and Senate President both arguing that they just don't have enough time to agree on a map by the June 20th deadline, but the judge just was not buying it.
Republican lawmakers making a last-ditch appeal to the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Louisiana, asking for more time to redraw the congressional maps. That appeal again denied.
We're grateful that the judge has ruled. We do know and understand that it's a process, and we want this process to continue, but we feel good at this point of where we are.
The judge ordered legislators to pass a map with 2 majority black districts.
We were given a very clear mandate by the court that any bills that we pass should have 2 black districts. And I don't know what room there is to negotiate outside of that.
House Speaker Clay Schexnayder and Senate President Paige Cortez says there's not enough time.
So the question was asked earlier whether or not we can get it done. We know we can get it done. The question is, do we have the will to get it done?
Cortez told the judge making the deadline would be very unlikely, but not impossible.
The president mentioned that, listen, we can change the rules to make this process speed up. So I think it could be done.
The judge says the House Speaker's efforts were disingenuous, pointing out he is again proposing the map she already rejected. The Black Caucus says this is not the end of this battle.
I don't know that this is going to move the body to act, unfortunately. I think that there's still going to be holding out some hope that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals or the U.S. Supreme Court is going to overturn the rulings of today.
The judge has given both sides until the end of the day to give her a date to present the new maps to her. If they do not have a map to give to the judge, she will draw up her own. The case is also expected to be argued at the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit on July 8th. Ariel Salk, Fox 44 News.
All right, certainly some interesting times. Thank you, Ariel. Well, it is day 2 of that special session called by Governor John Bel Edwards. And as we heard, the lawmakers are there to redraw Louisiana's congressional maps. A second part of the story today, however, is where Fox 44's Vanya Joseph comes in to bring us more from today's committee meeting.
I don't think we should try. I think we should do what the federal court has ordered us to do.
After hours of debating, the Senate committee made no headway in deciding if one of 2 bills will head to the House floor.
SB 1 is more compact than any bill that has been introduced, and it has lower population deviations.
Senate Bill 1, sponsored by Senator Cleo Fields, would create a majority black district. He argued that his map would fall in line with the Voting Rights Act. That was challenged by Senator Barry Milligan.
I need somebody to explain to me and this body how the current map and the map that's been drawn and approved does not allow for representation, the right to vote, or the right to run of any minority inside those districts.
Now that an extension to make a decision has been denied, Milligan, like many others, are still arguing that the special 6-day session is not enough time to do what is being asked. And after much back and forth,
the black population in this state is high, very high. 83% of the congressional representation is white. I think that's wrong.
The committee voted to amend Senate Bill 1 and table the bill for Friday.
This committee has never had an opportunity to vet this bill in committee.
Vania Joseph, Fox 44 News.
Now, lawmakers will also debate 4 options at the House committee Friday. They do have until June 20th, once again, to remap those political boundaries under court order and create a second majority black district. Well, nearly 90,000 policyholders are losing their home insurance across Louisiana. The state insurance commissioner says companies are pulling out now, and it's all because of an overflow of claims from the past 2 hurricanes. The 3 companies leaving the Bayou State include Lighthouse Excalibur, Maison, and Southern Fidelity. Lighthouse and Maison policies will be canceled on June 30th. Southern Fidelity policies will be canceled on July 15th. Now, the state insurance commissioner, Jim Donelon, says if you have been impacted, the first thing you should do is contact your agent.
The destructive hurricane season of the past 2 years have created a turbulent homeowners market. 4 insurers with Louisiana policyholders domiciled in our state failed in the aftermath of Laura, Delta, Zeta, and Ida.
Those who have already made payments to their company can expect a refund from the Louisiana Insurance Guarantee. Turning to your crime tracker tonight, 1 man is dead after a shooting near Glen Oaks High School. The sheriff's office says 22-year-old Gary Thomas was shot last night on Glen Echo Drive. Deputies say Thomas hit the female shooter several times before pulling out his gun, and that's when the woman allegedly fired shots back at Thomas. The suspect was detained by deputies, but it's not clear yet if she will face charges. And a Baton Rouge teenager is back in custody after escaping a juvenile detention center in New Orleans. The Louisiana Office of Juvenile Justice says 5 teens escaped the facility around 2 o'clock this morning. 4 have since been caught, but that teen that's still at large is from Tangipahoa Parish. If you happen to know anything or hear anything, you're asked to call the command center. That number on your screen there, 504-401-3359. All right, let's hand it back over now to our chief meteorologist, Ashley Rose, with a look at traffic.
Thanks, Kellyanne. So there was a crash a little earlier. This is right near the split. DOTD crews are starting to pick up and they're about to leave the scene as well. So we have some improvement. However, headed eastbound on I-12, traffic's moving about 17 miles per hour. That's from the split all the way to about the Amite River at this point. So take it easy. We actually have more storms moving in from the east as well, but more so over Ascension Parish and then the Florida parishes as well. So coming up after the break, I'll talk more about
Well, working outside in this heat is nothing short of brutal, and if you're not careful, as we know, it can certainly be dangerous. Tonight, Fox 44's Jessica Knox had a chance to speak to some doctors as well as some contractors about what they do or recommend to stay safe.
It's tough sometimes.
According to the Associated General Contractors of America, on average in Louisiana, there are more than 1,000 contractors working
live. You're watching Fox 44 News at 5:30.
Well, that is a wrap for us this evening here on Fox 44 News. We will be back tonight at 9 o'clock and certainly hope that we can join you then. Of course, the weather outside is frightful, so hopefully you'll stay indoors. We'll see you tonight. Good night. Tonight at 9, customers are being dropped from their insurance policies as more companies leave the state. How officials plan to help those who need coverage. And all but one escapee remains at large tonight after 5 juveniles escape a detention center near New Orleans. But this isn't the first time. We'll have those details as well.
Live, you're watching Fox 44 News first at 9.
Good evening, I'm Kellyanne Biley. Thank you so much for joining us for Fox 44 News first at 9. My co-anchor Tavarius Haywood does have the night off. Well, 2 more home insurance companies are pulling out of Louisiana. The announcement comes after Lighthouse Excalibur officials said they were taking their business elsewhere. Now the state insurance commissioner says he's trying to give homeowners more time to find a new policy. Our Fox 44's Anam Siddiqui has more updates. Anam?
Yeah, Kellyanne, yesterday we reported 29,000 policyholders will be impacted by just one company. Now, nearly 90,000 people are going to be left without home insurance. The state is extending the deadline for you to find new insurance.
Nearly 90,000 homeowners are left to find new insurance. Lighthouse, Excalibur, Maison, and Southern Fidelity are canceling their policies in Louisiana.
The destructive hurricane season of the past 2 years have created a turbulent homeowners market. 4 insurers with Louisiana policyholders domiciled in our state failed in the aftermath of Laura, Delta, Zeta, and Ida.
The state insurance commissioner Jim Donelon says companies are leaving the state because they can't afford to pay claims after natural disasters.
The magnitude of Ida claims that actually came in was significantly higher than Lighthouse's projections. In early March, their projection for damages had increased from $200 million to as much as $356 million.
Baton Rouge independent agent Andrea Allen says all agents across Louisiana are struggling to find policyholders insurance before the cancellation.
We've had about 30 days or so to move about 600 different homeowners insurance policies.
She says the states gave very little notice and a tight deadline. On Thursday, Donelon extended some of the deadlines. Lighthouse and Maison will officially be canceled on June 30th. Southern Fidelity will be canceled on July 15th. Donelon says homeowners can apply for last resort options like the state-run program Citizens, which was created for those who could not obtain private insurance elsewhere.
And if you are insured under one of these companies, the first thing to do is call an agent before your coverage is canceled. Anam Siddiqui, Fox 44 News.
Thank you so much, Anam. Now to some breaking news tonight. At least one person is dead and multiple others injured after a gunman opens fire inside an Alabama church. It happened at the St. Stephen's Episcopal Church. Police say 3 people were shot. 2 of those victims are being treated at a hospital. The shooter is in police custody.
I reiterate to you that the suspect involved in this event is in custody and that we know of no additional threats to either the community of Vestavia Hills or our neighboring community of Mountain Brook.
Local media reports the church was having a potluck at the time of the shooting. We'll be sure to put more updates online at brproud.com. In developing news tonight, a Tangipahoa woman claims a judge is making her pay child support to the man who raped her. It comes after a judge decided to give that father full custody. Today, the sheriff's department admits that they, quote, absolutely dropped the ball in her case. Crystal Abelseth says she met John Barnes, the man who allegedly raped her in 2005, at a Hammond bar. She was 16 years old at the time and says Barnes was 30. 5 years supposedly passed before Barnes learned that he had a child. That's when Abelseth says he filed for custody. Abelseth filed rape charges in Tangipahoa Parish in 2015, but the case wasn't investigated until this year. Abelseth spoke with News Nation's Banfield, saying she's still in search of answers.
We gave them all the evidence. We provided our birth certificates, the DNA. We said, what else do you need? I gave them numbers of the witnesses. I gave them anything and everything that they asked me for. No one has contacted me since that meeting. I've made multiple phone calls to the detective. I've sent him an email asking for the status of the case. I've left voice messages and still no response.
Abel Seth says she's only able to visit her daughter during supervised visitations every other weekend. Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Daniel Edwards says the case is now being handed over to the district attorney's office. We have the full interview with Abel Seth from News Nation posted on our website. In Iberville Parish, the St. Gabriel police chief is under investigation for missing evidence. Law enforcement searched the home of Chief Kevin Ambo Sr., looking for evidence from a 2019 home invasion where 2 people died. The Iberville Sheriff's Office says various items were taken from the Ambo's home, various items were taken from Ambo's home, including computers, phones, and video. Sheriff Brett Stassi says it's never a proud moment to investigate one of their own, but he does want justice for the victims. A Baton Rouge teenager is back in custody after escaping a Greater New Orleans juvenile detention center. The Louisiana Office of Juvenile Justice says 5 teenagers escaped around 2 o'clock this morning. 4 are back in custody, but a 16-year-old boy from Tangipahoa Parish is still on the run. One man who lives near the Bridge City Center for Youth says he'll be on high alert until the young man is caught.
Because when they escape, they're going to come this way. And if that happens, like I said, someone's going to get hurt, kidnapped, maybe killed. You never know. These guys, these youngsters don't have no regards to human life or safety. They don't care.
If you think you might have any information on the teens' whereabouts, you are asked to call 504-401-3359. Meanwhile, police are investigating after a child was hit by a stray bullet on Florida Boulevard. Police responded to the call about 9 o'clock last night at Broadmoor Plantation Apartments. The child was taken to the hospital, but tonight we have no word on their condition. And a man is dead after the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office says he got into a fight with a woman on Glen Echo Drive. Deputies say around 11 o'clock last night, Gary Thomas hit the woman before going for his gun. That's when she allegedly shot him. Thomas died at the hospital and the woman was detained, but it's not clear if she will face charges. And a suspect is now in custody related to a shooting in Addis. Police arrested Robert Martin, who they say is connected to Tuesday night's shooting on Bellevue Drive. Police say the victim is still recovering from her injuries at a hospital. Martin was booked into the West Baton Rouge Parish Detention Center. He faces a charge of attempted second-degree murder. And switching gears now, we want to head over to, actually I apologize, we've got one more story related to weather. As we know, little to no relief is in sight for Louisiana contractors working outside this summer. And now with temperatures expected to rise, doctors are speaking out on how to stay safe. The Associated General Contractors of America reports more than 1,000 contractors in our state work outside every day, and extreme weather can make the job more challenging.
Making sure you've got adequate rest, because if you don't get enough rest, that predisposes you to get a heat injury. 2, make sure you're hydrated. Don't just wait until you're thirsty. Make sure that you're drinking enough fluids. And then 3, be smart about it. Make sure you get out of the heat, take breaks.
Doctors say if you don't feel well, seek medical attention immediately and make sure to stay out of the sun. All right, I was just so excited because we are seeing these temperatures continue to rise and possibly reaching 100 degrees in the coming days. So we want to bring in our chief meteorologist and expert, obviously, Ashley Ruiz, because I have no idea what we can expect. We've had hot, humid, rain, storms, scary thunder. What's next?
Oh, loud claps of thunder earlier. And so we're still dealing with rain, but the upside with the storms today, Kellyanne, it cooled us off. But first, we hit a high of 96 degrees, and that was before the storms arrived. Now temperatures are in the 70s because of the storms, and we're still dealing with some lingering rain, but notice over the span of the last hour, this rain is slowly fading. We've lost our daytime heating, we lost the sun, and so the atmosphere is starting to stabilize, and so rain chances will start to wind down in the next couple of hours, but rain chances will be lower in the coming days. 10% on Friday, 20 to 30% on Saturday, and temperatures are going up as well. About 98 here in the capital city. This means some spots could easily reach 99 or 100, but next week looks even hotter. I'm going to give you guys all those details and talk about the rain chances, time it out for you on the future track. That's coming up a little later, Kellyanne.
All right, looking forward to it, Ashley. Thank you. Also coming up, skyrocketing prices. We're seeing them everywhere from the pump to the grocery store. We know the financial market as well can be a little intimidating and a little too much to handle. Our expert Chad Olivier is going to show us how to read beyond the headlines. That's in this week's Money Talks. Plus, a little bit later in the show, lawmakers have 4 days left to redraw the congressional maps at the state capitol. We'll have the details up front at 9:30.
Chief Meteorologist Ashley Ruiz and Sports Director Brian Holland. Fox 44 News, your local news leader.
Well, seeing the big picture when it comes to navigating the stock market can certainly help you reduce the stress. Our financial expert Chad Olivier explains how Zoom Out works in this week's Money Talks.
This is Money Talks with Chad Olivier. Sponsored by Olivier Group.
Hi, this is Chad Olivier, certified financial planner and CEO of Olivier Group. Today we're going to talk about how it's time to look past the headlines. High gas prices, Russia at war with the Ukraine, inflation, the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, oh my. There's a lot of uncertainty which causes a lot of volatility with the stock markets. Keep in mind the markets is a forward-looking mechanism in which it has always endured and recovered. John Ogle, CIO of Shares Atlas Approach, says it best. We've always had challenges along the way, but the overall strength of our economic system has brought great prosperity and opportunity unmatched by any other time and society. Dave Sekera, Chief U.S. Market Strategist at Morningstar, noted in a recent interview, the sell-off from the beginning of the year has taken the market from overvalued about 10% undervalued. Over time, stock prices tend to gravitate towards fair value. Growth stocks have been beaten up the most, giving you reason to be optimistic and for you to look past the headlines. This is not a time to panic, but to stay true to your strategy. Having a financial plan helps the investor stay invested well during market volatilities. That's why Money Talks, the planning pays.
This has been Money Talks with Chad Olivier.
All right, let's head back over to Ashley with a look at the latest.
Thanks, Kellyanne. Tomorrow, 96 degrees. We have a heat advisory in place because feels like temperatures are going to be close to 108 or greater. And check it out. It's not just going to be hot here. We have some spots to our northwest and northern Louisiana pushing 100 degrees, 100 in Dallas tomorrow. That does not include feels like temperatures as well. We could be pushing the upper 90s and possibly 100 into next week. I'll give you guys all those details and time out some rain chances for you. That's coming up next. Pet on for cash, just email me, aruiz@brproud.com. Kellyanne.
All right, Ashley, thank you. Norman Rockwell, cute little guy. I don't know if that's it or not, but anyways, coming up, we're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints taking full advantage of some practice time out on the field. We'll hear from some of the players who say they like the consistency despite a change in leadership. That story next in Go Nation. It's like a mohawk, but I always wonder too, based on the color of their helmets, does that impact their play style, like what they can see under the bright lights on the field, indoors, outdoors? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think in the Superdome, everything's pretty much the same once you got it on, you know. So I think, here's just my opinion, I think they should wear it with the all-black uniforms. I don't understand why they wear it with the white tops and bottoms, but
I just assumed it was going to be the all-black ones.
Yeah, I think that might look pretty slick.
Yeah, I agree there, Brian.
So the kids love them. Apparently, I'm shouting at clouds, and I hate them, but whatever.
All right, Brian, we'll check back in with you a little bit later. Just ahead, 3 friends are beating the odds by opening up their own one-stop shop for all things sneakers. We'll have that story after the break.
Fox 44 News, first at 9.
And we're back with more here on Fox 44. I'm Kellyanne Biley. A quick recap of tonight's top stories. 2 insurance companies are pulling out of the state, leaving 90,000 customers now uninsured. The commissioner says he's giving people more time to find new policies as hurricane season is already underway. And 1 teen remains at large tonight after 5 juveniles escaped from a detention center in Bridge City outside New Orleans. This brings the total number of escapees from that facility up to 14. Deputies raid a St. Gabriel police chief's home and take several items after evidence goes missing from a deadly 2019 home invasion. Officials say they took computers, phones, and video, but are still investigating exactly what happened. And now to your local election headquarters. A federal judge is denying lawmakers' request for an extension to draw up new congressional maps. Fox 44's investigative reporter Ariel Salk was at today's hearing and brings us the latest.
Republican lawmakers making a last-ditch appeal to the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Louisiana, asking for more time to redraw the congressional maps. That appeal again denied.
We're grateful that the judge has ruled. We do know and understand that it's a process, and we want this process to continue, but we feel good at this point of where we are.
The judge ordered legislators to pass a map with 2 majority black districts.
We were given a very clear mandate by the court that any bills that we pass should have 2 black districts. And I don't know what room there is to negotiate outside of that.
House Speaker Clay Schack-Snyder and Senate President Paige Cortez says there's not enough time.
So the question was asked earlier whether or not we can get it done. We know we can get it done. The question is, do we have the will to get it done?
Cortez told the judge making the deadline would be very unlikely, but not impossible.
The president mentioned that, listen, we can change the rules to make this process speed up. So I think it could be done.
The judge says the House Speaker's efforts were disingenuous, pointing out he is again proposing the map she already rejected. The Black Caucus says this is not the end of this battle.
I don't know that this is going to move the body to act, unfortunately. I think that there's still going to be holding out some hope that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals or the U.S. Supreme Court is going to overturn the rulings of today.
Ariel Salk, Fox 44 News.
The judge has given both sides until the end of the day to give her a date to present new maps. If they don't, she will draw up her own. The case is also expected to be argued at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals on July 8th. Meanwhile, the special session called by Governor John Bel Edwards to redraw those maps does continue. After hours of debating today, the Senate committee made no headway in deciding if one of 2 bills will head to the floor. Senate Bill 1, sponsored by Senator Cleo Fields, would create another majority black district. He says this map would fall in line with the Voting Rights Act, but Republicans are pushing back.
I need somebody to explain to me and this body how the current map and the map that's been drawn and approved does not allow for representation, the right to vote, or the right to run of any minority inside those districts.
The committee voted to amend Senate Bill 1 and table it for Friday. Lawmakers will also debate 4 options at the House committee tomorrow. Fields says they won't finish on time if Republicans keep delaying the process. Well, we have a special report for you tonight. Nearly 400 out of 100,000 black adults become entrepreneurs, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. And only 1 out of 10 of those businesses will actually survive. One local business, however, forced their way to success, even with the odds stacked against them. And tonight, our Fox 44's Jessica Knox brings us that story.
They just didn't believe in us. A lot of people told us that we couldn't open this store. They told us it wasn't a good idea.
Caleb Kayette, Leonard Fields, and D. Eric Robinson grew up together in Donaldsonville. Their parents are hard-working, middle-class people who made sure they had everything they needed.
I only had 2 pairs of shoes. I had to rotate every 2 days. I wear the same 2 pairs of shoes. Food-wise, clothes-wise, we didn't really struggle with that. Basically, my wants.
They say blood couldn't make them closer. They are like brothers.
8 through 12, we went to every school, every grade we were in. And some grades, we were all in the same class. Some grades we weren't. But after school, we played sports together. So just, hanging out, building that relationship.
Shoes were their first love.
Air Jordan 3, Powder Blues. I bought those with my first McDonald's check. And it was amazing. It was my first pair, so I was proud.
The 3 enrolled at Louisiana State University and wanted to turn their love for shoes into a lawful business.
College dormitory, we started selling out of our cars and trunks. We would go to the local malls and pick up shoes that we thought we could sell for profit.
The trio's business skyrocketed after learning how to market on their social media.
Grew our following base a lot.
Roughly like 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah, 3,000 or 4,000.
Then it was time to open a store, something they say wasn't an easy task.
We faced a lot of trouble trying to get this building in Baton Rouge. Obviously because of the color of our skin.
Banks and other private investors, they're a little bit more hesitant to giving out a business loan. So like you said, someone who's young and someone, a black male.
They say, oh, he's not experienced, he's fresh out of college, he's 21, he's immature, he's going on to mess up.
Having no one to ask for advice and no background on how to do it, they figured it out on their own.
Like we all funded this with our own money out of pocket because we couldn't get a business loan.
After rebranding themselves and saving all they had, another Soul Chance was born.
It was so amazing, not because of our first store, I'm gonna say it like that. I say it was so amazing because of the trials and tribulations we went through to get to the store. Like I said, it was a 4 to 5 month process. So when we finally got the keys, we finally got in here, it was like, man, wow, we finally got in here. It's crazy.
And the first day we opened, all the support we had,
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, we were bombarded with support.
Yeah.
They say it's more than just shoes.
A lot to do with school. We had to wear a school uniform. So,
exactly, yeah. So that's the only thing that you can stand out with is your shoes.
Yeah, that was the only way to express yourself in school. The shoes give people a sense of pride.
They were learning as they go in the beginning and the end. They were robbed after facing so many obstacles, having little to no help at all, surviving the pandemic, and now being robbed. The three found themselves stuck.
We had to step it up.
They were forced to press the reset button and start all over again. But another Soul Chance came back bigger and stronger.
Keep going. Don't let anyone tell you what you can or can't do.
Exactly.
Everything is possible. We were 22 when we opened these doors.
Many say starting a business is a hard task, but being black and young makes it harder. These black business owners say their best advice, research and network, but also
education, get a job, build your capital.
Yeah, save your money up for like 5 to 6 months at least before you start a business. So where it doesn't work out, you have the extra money to fall back on.
And to help those kids switching between 2 pairs of shoes, another Soul Chance is there.
You need some extra money, you need quick cash, you need money fast, you need probably some gas money. And we buy these shoes so for a good price and give them the money. They go out there and buy what they need and pay their bills, stuff like that.
Jessica Knox, Fox 44 News.
What an inspirational story. All right, Ashley, we keep checking in with you, but we know it's going to be the same answer, but that's okay. We just have to find the happiness and the sunshine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. At least going forward, we'll have relatively quiet conditions. Kellyanne, this one weather pattern that we're going to be stuck in, this ridge of high pressure, at least it keeps the northern Gulf Coast protected from any tropical trouble. So there's at least that. Yes, it's going to be hot. Next week will be even hotter. I know 98 through the weekend, but late next week, or at least the middle half and late portion of next week, we could be pushing 100 degrees. If not here, it's going to happen in the south. I'll show you on the future track and then break down some upcoming rain chances over the weekend. That's no relief in sight from this high heat and high humidity. Kellyanne.
All right, Ashley, with those high temperatures, however, I've got the answer for you if you want to get outside. The Baton Rouge Zoo, as we know, has grown to become the #1 family-friendly attraction right here in the capital city. And tonight, I'll show you the park after hours when it's a little bit cooler. Here's Destination Louisiana. Do you ever wonder what the zoo is like once the visitors leave and the gates close? Well, now you can see it for yourself.
So Twilight Tour really consists of an evening tour around the zoo.
Educator Nick Uze leads the way as we board the Safari Shuttle.
Are our 2 female cheetahs.
The Twilight Tour offers a special glimpse of the animals after hours.
To say there are a lot of animals here at the zoo that are crepuscular. crepuscular. They are active in the dawn and dusk times.
The ride-along also reveals some unexpected sights.
So we're currently in phase 1 of construction. Phase 1 consists of a new giraffe exhibit, as well as a new pygmy hippo exhibit, a new front building, as well as a renovation of our South American exhibits.
Don't worry, you'll get a chance to cool off inside the otter cabin, as well as the aquarium. And seeing the ostrich and the plains zebras are just some of the highlights of the tour.
This is Tony. Tony is a blue-tongued skink.
You'll also get the chance to meet some animals up close and personal.
They come in 2 different color faces.
Twilight tours last an hour and a half and cost between $13 and $16.
And on that Twilight tour, I promise there was just about 10 of us and we had the entire zoo to ourselves. So I definitely recommend check it out. Twilight tours run on Tuesday and Thursday nights, only during the months of June and July. Well, just ahead, LSU may be out of the game, but the show must go on. We'll hear from players in the College World Series on practice day. That's next in Go Nation. Well, that's it for us tonight, friends. TGIF. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. And don't forget, in the meantime, turn on the news at 7:30 tomorrow morning for Fox 44 First Edition. Have a great night.